Hi, everybody. I'm Matt Haynes,
And I'm Trenton Bennett.
and we are audiobook narrators. And this is part of a series where we're just sharing what's on our minds, and hopefully, it's of benefit to you as an early audiobook narrator, or even as a seasoned audiobook narrator. We have a special series that we're going to be doing for the next couple of weeks, and that is around AI and its relationship to the narration industry. So Trenton has done his homework on this, and I'm gonna take it to him to start us off. Trenton, what's the first thing that people should know about AI?
Well, first, let me preface this with the fact that I've been very closely aligned to technology for years. I've had a tech career and I do science fiction and have all my life, not just narrating, but reading. So there's a lot of thought that went into this, a lot of reading. The basics, though, are we need to explore the fact that AI is not going to go away. So it's not something that you can just punch in the nose and send it crying home to mama. That's not going to happen. Please don't do that. The thing about AI that it cannot replicate easily is human physicality and context. Let me dig into that to be specific. The many muscles that make up all of the system that is our voice box in our head, they can be manipulated in an extremely wide variety of ways. That includes the ability to change at varying paces, ramping the emotion up and down, but it also includes the aspiration, the breathing that goes behind an emotional expression. When we're laughing really hard, we gasp. Sometimes really need to breathe in
Hmm.
because we're laughing so hard. We have that slight strained whine when we're sad, a little bit of a
Hmm.
pinched air that comes out as we burst into tears. Those nuances of how, everything tightens up when you're really sad.
I'm
It's
thinking in particular of Will Wheaton in Stand By Me when he's having his final cathartic moment. He sounds like a squeaking gate.
yes,
Yeah,
exactly. He's absolutely feeling every bit of that, and it's
yeah.
affecting the physicality. And folks, if you're not a voice actor, you may not be as familiar with the larynx, the soft palate, all of the muscles that manipulate those spaces and create larger and smaller openings so that we can go really high in a smaller space near the soft palate, or we can drop really low in the chest and get that resonance going. Those are nuances that AI cannot do. But also, this is the biggie, AI makes a great deal of mistakes
Hmm.
because it can't really understand the entire context of what it's being told well enough to visualize the nuances of the scene. In other words, Matt, you and I often in a library reading will tell people, hey, the neat thing about being a narrator is we're the characters, we're the events, we're our reaction to the events, we're the
Right,
weather, we're the props, we're the sets.
right.
So, lighting, weather, emotional baggage going into the story. And we're the ones who know when there's too much emotion or not enough emotion in a response.
Hmm.
That's huge. That's a lot of nuance that we're capable of.
And I would argue that during training we can consciously do this, but also we intuitively do it, which is something that AI can't do. It doesn't have that emotional intuition.
We pull together a lot of different things, but because we are physical beings who express ourselves like other human beings, and we have all of this hardware that does so,
Yeah.
to borrow some technology, we understand how to work our voices in those ways so that another human isn't going to go, whoa, that you really sounded kind of little nuts there. That
Mm.
wasn't really sadness. That sounded more like the Joker just got told that someone stole his ice cream bar. And all that was really supposed to happen was he was supposed to be mildly crestfallen.
Hmm. Hmm. So, what is there anything else that is particularly important to what we deliver that AI is not yet able to replicate and just might not ever be?
As a voice actor, and in particular because we're a narrator who gets to also be sets and weather and mood and tone,
Hmm.
we need to be human, engaging, and relatable in everything that we present.
Mm.
Some people think, for example, that nonfiction is, well, it's just a bunch of facts arranged in a row. Well, the
Mm-hmm.
truth is, every piece of text created by a person has voice and perspective and nuance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It has an intention behind it. It has a bit of humor that you might not know from looking at the text on a page, and we have to draw that out. Or
Mm.
it has a little bit of a sly wink to the listener that we have to put in there. The
Yeah.
subtleties that are harder to replicate with a system.
You know, what you're talking about reminds me of is a good ASL interpreter, when interpreting somebody else's sign language, will actually feed the tone of what they're doing into their voicing of what that person is saying.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. Exactly.
yeah,
Because we read those facial expressions, we read all of that. And as an audiobook, you may not be able to see my mouth moving, but just like the old adage we hear of when you're selling something to someone on the phone, be sure and smile because they can
right,
hear the smile in your voice. That's the same.
right.
We can hear those facial muscles moving. We
Mm,
can hear when we're angry enough that we've clenched our teeth and we're breathing in deeply because we're trying to count to 10 mentally. All those are things that are very hard to replicate if you don't have lungs and a larynx and a soft palate and vocal cords with dynamic range.
yeah. So as a segue, the question then becomes, okay, so are we home free?
AI is not going to go away. Let's start right there. Okay,
Yeah,
so Pandora's box has been opened. You could call it that, but the truth
yeah,
is, kind of technology moves forward no matter who writes a letter asking us to stop.
right, right.
But the truth is, we need to understand our role in technology as it moves forward, and we can explore that a little more. I've got some other thoughts on that, but for now, it's important to understand something that we forget, which is computers are flawed. They
Mm,
are not perfect systems. They are flawed. They are inherently limited. And that includes the nature of AI. Regardless of how good it gets, it always faces limitations that we as humans do not have as much of a problem getting around.
hmm hmm Well, that'll be our cliffhanger for part two. How does this play out? How has it played out with AI? In the meantime, I'm Matt Haynes,
And I'm Trenton Bennett.
and as your narrators and also helpers with the narration process, I hope that our voices and your ears meet again real soon. Thanks,
Thanks,
everyone.
everybody.